Hello, hello, beautiful people of the internet. For those who don't know me, hi, I'm ImAnnieMeiMei, tropical dryad VTuber of from Jamaica. You know, I don't normally look like this in terms of like, using this model or whatever. Most people who know me or know my content are probably used to seeing one of these few things here because I can't get to use this one all that much because, well, my PC isn't good enough for that. I can't stream or record while having this up. Though I really do love it. It's made by an artist that goes by Nari. I will try to remember to link Nari so that you guys can give her love because this was something I'd won a few years back and I kind of feel bad for not really getting to use it. But I guess the point of this video is just I just wanted to talk. Um, I kind of got this idea from a YouTuber I watched that goes by Jay from the Cub Scouts, and he was always somebody who oftentimes was pretty straightforward when it comes to talking to his audience about stuff. And I feel like for me, I am no different. I like keeping chat and just my community to know kind of what's going on with me if it's nothing like too crazy. Because this might be a little parasocial, but I consider a lot of the people that come to see me and come to say hi on a daily basis and interact with me often as friends of mine. Again, could just be me being parasocial, but who knows? Uh but I don't know, for a very long time I've wanted to make this video. I thought about making this video, but then I was like, I don't really know how that's gonna look to the general public. A lot of people isn't gonna care about the purpose this video is here to make, which is fine, completely fine. Like, as far as I'm concerned, a lot of people probably won't end up even seeing this. Uh, but I just figured it'd be something nice to kind of talk about. Uh, a lot of the times I contemplated a lot of things, some of which I probably can't say on YouTube for graphical reasons, but uh, I got into content because I wanted to give people a space that they could use that to, you know, get cheer up if they had like a bad day, if something happens that they'd rather not talk about and they just want to distract themselves. Because I've had many spaces that did that for me. And I thought, I it seems fun. It seems fun to get into streaming, get into YouTubing because I love from ever since I've loved making content. Even before I joined the VTuber community, I was in a different community that did a similar thing. Back then I used to just solely make YouTube videos over like little silly gotcha animations, believe it or not. um until I find out that VTubing was a thing. Uh it definitely is a better change, I would say. I wouldn't say there's anything supposedly wrong with the gotcha community, but I think this one is more suited to me. Um but I've always loved making content. I've always liked having people who I could just make a silly little video or do silly little content and use that to distract somebody from the day that they were having. And I didn't even come to realize that when it came to me making content, not only did it give them a sense of distraction, I guess it gave me one too. Because as much as I'm laughing, like my life was pretty rough. I feel like even now it's still pretty rough, but I just don't always show that to people. A lot of people won't know about it until like I talk about it, or I have a mild crash out. I guess I wouldn't call it so much of a crash out, just a mild breakdown. It would be a better fit, but um, it's definitely been a rough situation for me in particular. And for those who are curious, uh, I am 26, turned 27 this year. Ugh, big numbers, so scary. uh, and as far as I've really known, I never really had a proper job. You know, I don't even really consider me being a VTuber, at least at the point that I'm at currently, as a job. I don't think I could. Um, if I'm being all honest with you, I don't think I could consider this a job whatsoever. Um, though I wish it would get to a point of that, but that aside, um, because as a lot of people will know, because I don't make this secretive at all. I am literally from Jamaica. For me, it's rough. Don't get me wrong, love the country, absolutely adore it. My biggest issue, the amount of jobs that you're able to get, or just how you go about getting a job in particular, because it's not as easy as you would expect it to be for where we are. I feel like a lot of other places, like a lot of other countries, has a better time doing this. Um, and it just, I don't know, it's rough to say the least. Because the moment I got out of high school, I've been trying to, right? And it just never went anywhere, you know? So at this point, I'm convinced of two things. It's either I am just that useless, or I'm wholeheartedly cursed. I don't know which is worse. So, uh, when it comes down to it, I've been trying to get a job for like the longest time to no avail. And I feel like it's the biggest part on why this channel is so scarce in that manner. I know probably if I were more consistent with posting on here, doing better content, I guess, playing games that maybe people would want to see, stuff like that, it would get a little better. But again, uh one, I don't think, like, a lot of the stuff that I want to play and do for the channel, my PC cannot do it. It just can't, you know. Me trying to get a job for the longest time to be able to help provide for myself, provide for my family, help them out, and do all of that stuff. Maybe even like subscribe to some of my favorite streamers and content creators and whatever. Um, but that just never really happened. And I guess over time, I'm slowly starting to lose faith that it'll actually happen. Um, Again, I even feel bad for making this video because I'm just like, I just feel like I'm just venting out into the void, or I guess venting out into the people that don't really care or don't really, want to see any of this, which is fine. You know, if you don't want to see this, you can completely disregard this video. Uh, I did do a collab with some wonderful girls of the V Nymph group that I was added to recently. Uh, so I'll be posting that on the channel shortly after this one. Um, so at least there'll be something more fun and uplifting for you guys to watch, and watch me constantly dying in repo. Well, I said constantly dying, but I wasn't doing too bad, I guess. Um, but yeah, no, it's been pretty rough. I feel like the only reason I'm doing this video is because I personally needed I personally needed this for myself. I'm not even doing this for the fact that I want people to see this and feel sorry for me. I really couldn't. I have people on Discord already currently here feeling sorry for me. I don't, that's not the point of me doing this. I'm doing this because I have a lot of thoughts in my head that I'd rather not burden on a singular person's shoulders, or having somebody hit me with the same, oh, I'm so sorry this is happening. I'm sorry you feel this way, because it's all stuff I've kind of heard before. And at this point, I just feel bad kind of wasting people's time with this kind of stuff. So this video is more for me than for anybody else. I needed a way to convince myself that at least getting it out there. Not more so convincing myself, because I'm pretty sure I'm already giving up on that front. It's more so getting it out of my head so I won't have to think about it, you know? Um it's definitely a rough situation, because I want nothing more than to be able to take care of myself, take care of my family, help some friends out if need be. But again, I was just born to be broke, I guess. um and now that I think about it, even my life, from even before high school coming straight up, our family weren't the most gifted, I could say, when it comes to making money, because it's really rough in this country. I know it's rough everywhere, but specifically for my family, I don't ever recall there being a point in time where we weren't just trying to make it, trying to make things count, and trying to, pinch what little we had and made it work for everything that we needed. Um, and even over the years, again, it still just comes down to, that's all it is. We're just trying to make it work with what little we have. Uh, and I don't know, I'm kind of convinced that if this doesn't work out, whether it's content creation, whether it's getting a proper job, I'm literally down to the point where I'm I'm hitting a wall constantly. At least that's what it feels like to me. I'm also trying not to get emotional talking about this, because again, it's something that's kind of reoccurring for me, and it's been a loop that I've found myself in. Um I always try to take the advice of people that are around me that says, "Hey, if you can't get a job where you're living at, there's always, the online jobs that you can get." Which again is something I not only contemplated but actively signed up for. That they're like, "Okay, cool, yeah, your application's good, everything seems fine." When we post job stuff on there, like on this website that I signed up for, that a girl that my neighbor knew who contacted me was like, "Hey, I do this thing on here, and I'm a single mom, but I used it to put my kid through school, renovate my house with some bigger projects, and even bought myself a car." And I'm like, "Hey, that's great. It's awesome. I'm so happy for you. I signed up for it and everything." Only to be hit with the fact that, by the way, you see the PC that you're using, it does not meet the minimum requirements, so therefore you still can't do this job. Which was, again, another hope that I'd had hitting a complete brick wall. It's like every time there is a solution that presents itself, there is something lining up to that stops me completely. And it's heartbreaking a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. It makes it feel like I'm just incapable of getting into a position where I can help anybody. Can't help myself, can't help my family, can't be there for my friends unless it's like, you know, uh can't be there for my friends monetarily, which is something I care about doing too, because I don't want to feel like the constant person who is expecting any kind of like money or whatever from the friends that I have. Um and it bothers me that I'm seen as, well, I know a lot of my friends don't really see me as that, but it feels like that whenever I can't do anything and they're the ones that helps with it. Like me streaming is how I specifically pay for my internet bill. And if I don't make enough that month, then it simply means I don't get to keep my internet. And there's numerous times where I've had friends who had to help me either make up the rest or just give the full amount, because again, I don't get that payout until it meets the minimum requirement that's needed. Um, and stuff like that bothers me. Stuff like that. I don't feel proud about any of that situation. It feels really hard, you know, because again, I'm not afraid to say how old I am. I am 26. I have friends who are like a bit younger by a couple years or whatever, and they're taking care of themselves just fine. They're paying all of their bills, some of them even living alone or having a roommate. And aside from, the typical work stress of having to deal with this or that or bad coworkers or whatever, it still is a thing where I look at that and I'm like, even somebody younger than me is doing better than me. What's wrong with me? Why can't I be able to be in a position that warrants having some kind of use, that warrants getting a job and helping taking care of myself and the people around me? Because I'm the kind of person that if I became a millionaire tomorrow, the first thing I'm going to do is, well, what's needed, which is obviously, fixing my roof that leaks during the rainy seasons, you know, um, literally having it to where chips of the ceiling falls off on top of me while I'm asleep. I'm not even joking. uh, having certain things that just could be a lot better. My floor that was pretty much chipped up, uneven, all of that kind of stuff needs like a whole resurfacing, all of that stuff. Um, the PC that I currently have, which is currently slowly dying, you know, outdated components and all of these problems just because it's that old, you know. Uh Seeing all of this around me and unable to participate in any of the payment for maintaining and or fixing it is stressful. It really is, because I want nothing more than to be able to be like, hey, mom, I have this amount of money now. I'm gonna go call these people that we need to call to have them work on this thing that needs fixing so we don't have to have that stress anymore. Because not only is it my room that leaks, but I'm pretty sure most places in our house. There's my room, there's one of my sister's room, we have the kitchen, the living room a bit. Even the veranda needs it too. So it's like the whole roof that the whole roof that needs a resurfacing. And it's genuinely concerning. It's to the point where I'm sitting here like, I hate not being able to do something about this. The fact that I have to still, well, at least our family has to still rely on my dad, who's in another country working, and like he's working his ass off to provide not only for the place that he's staying at over there, but to send money out for here every week, right? It makes me it makes my heart hurt a little bit, because I want to be able to do something. I want to be able to like work and provide to where I can tell him, hey, you don't have to send anything for us anymore because I got it. Just take care of yourself over there and I'll take care of us here. And if I ever need the help, then you can send a little something to help out or whatever. But as far as things are, I can handle it, but not being able to do that, sorry, it's, uh, not being able to do that is really stressful. And for the friends of mine that know about it, um, they like the most that they can tell me realistically is just, it'll be okay. Just keep doing what you can do with content and, doing more on YouTube and Twitch and, just getting yourself out there, doing a little bit more and everything. And it's like, I get that, but like, people have been telling me for years to do that. Um, I'm trying to be and stay optimistic, but it's getting harder, you know? Um, it's even had me contemplate not being around anymore, if you get my drift. Pretty sure I can't say that on YouTube. Um, hitting that terrible undo button and then having my mom just sell like my PC and monitor and keyboard and all that stuff so that they can at least gain some extras to put towards other important stuff. Hey, it would also mean using up less power in the house, but I know me doing that would not change the situation here. If anything, it would probably make everybody here more depressed. Um, so every time I think about it, I think of what they would feel if it were to happen. So it's just not an option. It doesn't help that as much as like I tell people about how I am a pussy when it comes to scary games, I'm also a coward when it comes to wanting to actually do that kind of situation. So it's like two things majorly stopping me. One, what everybody around me that knows me would feel because of this, and two, you know, what would happen with the people in my family that relies on me when it comes to going out and picking up the stuff that we need. Because as far as things go, when it comes to the grocery shopping, I'm the one that does it mostly. Like my mom goes with me because she also knows about some of the stuff that she specifically wants. But like, it's a rough place to be locked into. And I know for me it's like it's not a mindset that's here one moment, gone the next. Like it's not just here for a little bit and it doesn't come back. It's gone for a bit, comes back, and then, it like loops around every couple months or so, I'd say. I can't particularly say that I have any mental health issues because I am undiagnosed, because again, that also requires money. So all of these different things that I believe are wrong with me, quote unquote, are just things that I'm just going off of guessing. And I guess the same for my friends. They're just seeing my mindset, seeing my how I feel about things, and just assuming that's what's going on. Because it's not like I can get it actually checked out or talk to somebody professionally about this because that also requires money. You know, uh, I do want to try and see what I can do, but again, I feel like I've done everything recommended of me. I've done everything that friends thought would have been something that could help me. Uh, so at this point, I just don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing. I just, I don't really know what I'm supposed to have happen. So I'm kind of just here trying to hold on and trying to see how long it'll take for something to change and hoping that this is sooner rather than later, because for me it's like every year I hit a higher and higher age. It's like whenever these little breakdowns happen, they feel worse and worse. You know, and it just it's sorry. Uh Getting a little emotional now. Um but yeah, I'm just doing the best that I can at this point because there's realistically no other option. I feel like I'm stuck on a hamster wheel with a revolver pointed at me, and there's nothing else I can do but keep running whether I'm crying or smiling. So it's just one of those situations. Um Again, I don't, unless like I'm not using this video as a means to have people feel sorry for me or anything like that. That is the last thing I want from this. This is just like a this is just like a public journal for me, I guess. Because I don't do any kind of diary or whatever, because the last thing I'd want is for people to see it and freak out. Frankly, I don't even know how I'm gonna go about this video because I don't want my mom seeing it and freaking out. uh because the last thing I want to do is to stress her out. Um, so I'm probably gonna make this video like unlisted or something. I guess I'll decide on how I do that later, or what I do when it comes to that. Um, but you know, if you decided to stick through this video of just me talking and rambling about how things are, then I appreciate you for watching it. I promise you my next videos will not be like this. Um, so you can stay tuned for when I post the collab that I did with VNymph. Uh, I'll leave a link to the VNymph Twitter in the description, so you guys can, I guess, stay up to date on when we do our next stuff together. Uh, but I don't really want to hold you guys here for much longer, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna just let this sit. I'm gonna let myself just take a breather, take a moment, um, and just try to get out of this mindset. Uh, but again, if you were watching this, I appreciate you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful life, and just make sure that you keep your chin up, because while I'm not in the best situation, I only want the absolute best for everybody else. You know, I want to make sure that you guys are okay, that you guys are happy, that you guys are managing, you know. And I guess I don't really know what else to say aside from that, but I will see you guys in the next video. And again, the next one will not be this depressing. I'm so sorry you had to sit through this. Uh, but I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.